Welcome to the Raw Food Health Empowerment Podcast, where we delve into the powerful benefits of a holistic, high raw vegan lifestyle for achieving optimal health, brain function, and overall well being. I'm your host, Samantha Salmon, certified brain optimization coach. And today we're talking about the power of the gut, raw foods, and how it plays a role in your microbiome and how this helps you show up better at work and at home. So basically, the brain is the organ of your personality, okay? It manages how you think, feel, and behave. And in order for the brain to be healthy, we need a healthy gut microbiome. In order for the gut to be healthy, we need fiber. We need a diversity of plant foods. And what we don't need is processed foods, right? Processed foods cause dysbiosis in the gut, and foods that aren't fiber cause all sorts of inflammation. Inflammation anywhere hurts the brain. So we're going to talk through some 5 things you need to be thinking about to really improve the health of your gut through raw food diet so that you can have peak mental performance. Okay. So if you're down for that, I need you to click the like button, subscribe to this channel, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you are updated every time a new episode drops. Okay. All right. Awesome. So, first thing is you want to boost brain power and enhance mood. Like I said, the brain is the organ of how you think, feel, and behave. Okay. So, if you are consistently irritable or down, you really need to be thinking about healing the brain from a biopsychosocial spiritual approach. And the first step that I like to start with is the biological. Is the brain physically functioning? And then we go into the other areas, right? Is it physically functioning? What does that mean? Are we getting proper blood flow to the brain? If you're getting too much or too little, you will see issues of cognitive decline, issues of irritability, aggressiveness, mood swings, right? Anxiety. And in the work that we do, folks are dealing with a lot of stress. So stress plays a huge role on this, right? We have high cortisol, then we tend to have high insulin. And these things can actually disrupt hormonal balance in the body, which constricts blood flow to the brain. So how do we resolve this? We want to incorporate more raw foods into our diet to feed the beneficial gut bacteria and support that gut-brain connection. How is the gut and brain even connected? It's connected through the vagus nerve, right? And I find like the vagus nerve is so important because stimulating it can help improve your mood, right? All of these things, they work together, and there are ways in to really have peak performance, to be joyful, to be happy, to keep your mood uplifted. Having a positive vibration makes you magnetic, right? So I'm pretty sure for those of you who are entrepreneurs, especially, that is really super valuable, right? To be magnetic, to attract your tribe, to have people want to spend time with you and be in your circle is really predicated upon the health of your brain and that communication between your gut and your brain. So, how do you do this? You start your day with some raw foods to just get started, right? Maybe you do a bowl of fruit or or a green juice or a smoothie, whatever it is. Start with some raw foods, include omega-3 fatty acids at the top of the day just to get it in, because you need to make sure you're having omega-3 fatty acids every day. And what that could look like, you can add walnuts to your smoothie. You can add flax seeds or hemp seeds or chia seeds, leafy greens, right? All the above. Raw cacao is also really great for blood flow to the brain, and leafy greens, like I mentioned. I find that leafy greens, especially when I'm making a smoothie or even a midday salad, having loads of greens helps to keep my brain firing on all cylinders when I need to be alert, creative, right? If you're dealing with those midday fatigues, wanting to take a nap or whatever, which I'm not against naps. If you need a nap, take a nap. But you're more inclined to not need a nap if you're eating lots of raw leafy green vegetables. So number 2, improve your digestion and detoxification. We want to make sure that when we're eating these raw foods that we're actually absorbing the nutrients from what we're consuming, right? Raw foods, they're rich in fiber and essential nutrients that support healthy digestion and detoxification. So how we talked about breakfast, let's move on to lunch. Eat your raw vegetable salads before your main meal. Okay, so you get it in. Eventually, you'll probably get to the point like me where I have a huge bowl of, let's say, kale, and I don't even dress it with anything because what I'm eating alongside is typically, sometimes I'll dress it if I'm just doing a raw salad, right? But if I'm not, if I'm eating a cooked protein like quinoa or beans or lentils, those are usually seasoned with apple cider vinegar and whatever spices and maybe even some coconut aminos, whatever I have going on, that's seasoned. And so my kale doesn't need to be dressed or anything like that. So I eat the raw kale and I eat it alongside my seasoned cooked clean protein, right? You can also include some raw beets and into that salad because beets are really good for blood flow to the brain. Also, we want to make sure we drink plenty of water, right? So drinking half your body weight in ounces of water, you can even add some lemon or lime in it. I love to use apple cider vinegar in my salads, right? Because apple cider vinegar is shown to help with metabolism and fat burning. And we know that having obesity is a risk factor to the brains, right? The more excess fat you have on, the more your brain atrophies because it is an organ that is really dependent on the health of your cardiovascular system, right? So having that excess fat puts a strain on the cardiovascular system, constricts blood flow to the brain, and that's how the brain is getting oxygen and nutrients. Let's talk about the immune system, right? And reduction of inflammation, because inflammation, like I said, in the body anywhere affects the brain. Raw foods contain vitamins, minerals, and anti-inflammatory properties that strengthen your immune system and reduce inflammation. So how do we go about doing this? We want to incorporate raw garlic and onions, right? This is healthy for our gut microbiome. When you cook these foods, you are losing really powerful nutrients. Now, on the flip side of that, for those of you who share a room with people, this may not be the best. Some people actually, because not everyone is like this, but some folks, when they consume garlic and onions, the odor is wow. Okay. What I highly recommend, because if you're sharing a room with someone, obviously this is a loved one, either it's a sibling or a roommate, a partner, someone you care about, right? In that case, we want these people to live nice, long, healthy lives. We want them to eat foods that are known cancer fighters, which garlic and onions are. What I highly recommend in terms of dealing with the odor situation is just get yourself an air purifier and run that bad boy, okay? Because it is what it is. And with these powerful foods, yes, sometimes garlic, it doesn't matter how you consume garlic, if it's through your mouth or otherwise, because they have done studies, it will come out your pores. It's such a powerful food that it's worth incorporating in your diet for a healthy gut to really strengthen your immune system to fight against cancer, because all of us are running around with cancer cells, right? But our diet and lifestyle pulls the trigger on it and leads to a diagnosis where we're more inclined to be in a crisis situation. Some other great anti-inflammatory foods to add are turmeric, ginger. These are things that I love to add to juices, smoothies, and also salad dressings. And eat a variety of colorful raw fruits and vegetables. You need to be rotating your greens, rotating your fruits with each season. So you're getting a wide variety of nutrients. Okay, so on to number 4. Let's look at maintaining a healthy weight and increase energy levels. Raw foods are low in calories, meaning like per gram, right? They tend to be low in calories, high in nutrients, and they provide a natural energy boost without the crash. Okay, even if you're eating lots of fruit, because it's so rich in fiber and water, you tend to not have that as long as it's not a high glycemic fruit. And also, top of the day, you're drinking lots of water. Midday, you're drinking lots of water, right? So you can consume half your body weight in ounces of water before 7 o'clock, before 6 o'clock. At least, of course, that doesn't mean you're not going to have some water after 6 or 7, but just to taper off, making sure you get that in so it's done. Because at minimum, you should be drinking that, not at maximum. So in order to maintain a healthy weight and increase energy levels, and we're doing this through raw foods because it's so powerful in just releasing excess fat so quickly and effectively, we need to replace the processed snacks with raw fruits and vegetables. Okay, you can even incorporate some nuts and seeds if you want something more dense to snack on. And there are also some superfoods that you can include if you'd like spirulina, chia seeds we mentioned, for a midday thing. And I have a special gift for you. Since you've watched this far in the video, you can download a chia seed recipe book, all the various ways that you can use chia seeds. Once you download the Healthy Digestion recipe book on my website at rawfoodmealplanner.com, this will be something you get within the first couple days of signing up for that. So make sure to go to rawfoodmealplanner.com and download the Healthy Digestion recipe book and keep your eyes peeled for the chia seed recipe book. And finally, we have to talk about heart health and improving sleep quality. Heart health, if your cardiovascular system is not healthy, like we mentioned, then the blood flow is compromised, which then affects the brain. Also, part of this is if you're not sleeping, that causes a chronic stress response in the body. So you have high cortisol, which sets off a cascade of events of hormonal imbalance, which again constricts blood flow to the brain. So raw food supports the cardiovascular system by lowering cholesterol and balancing out blood pressure. And it also helps to regulate sleep patterns, not just raw foods, but clean, whole vegan foods. One of the things I like to say is at the end of the day, you want to be eating foods that allow you to trip into tryptophan, right? This tryptophan-rich foods that help you to sleep. But there's some more things to just having a proper sleep hygiene. But when we talk about nutrition, there are ways to really get the most out of it. So we talked about eating raw nuts, right? If you're going to have nuts, stick to raw, make sure you do organic, because if there's toxins on the food, that also affects the brain. And some of these toxins are able to permeate the blood-brain barrier. So we want to be really mindful of that. So nuts like almonds or walnuts are really great nuts to snack on. Leafy green vegetables we mentioned already. And caffeine, you need to avoid drinking caffeine after, I know there's a cutoff time in the day, right? I don't know. I can't remember what it is. 4 o'clock, noon, whatever it is. You know for yourself that if you have caffeine at a certain time of day, then it's causing adverse effects for you. So definitely not before bedtime. And the same goes for raw cacao, because cacao is energizing. It's an energizing food. So drinking that in any shape or form or eating it in any shape or form too close to bed can also be stimulating and prevent you from falling asleep and having deep restful sleep. Refined sugar should be completely eliminated because refined sugar makes the blood vessels brittle and puts you at risk for all sorts of cardiac events, which then, like I said, impacts the brain. But beyond that, refined sugar makes the brain act in really irrational manners. And for those of you who've had an experience, you probably already know this from firsthand lived experience, that refined sugar can chemically affect the brain and how you're behaving in real time, right? Also, for some people, it is engaging the addiction centers of the brain. And has people stuck in unhealthy eating behavior, which doesn't help them reach their health goals. So something to keep in mind. One of the things that I enjoy as a nighttime wind down, like an evening wind down, I should say, is golden milk. And let me grab the product so I can show you. All right, this is by Gaia, and you probably are seeing it backwards, but inside, because I've talked about it before, but I can never fully remember the ingredient list, but it's turmeric root, date, palm fruit, which they have ground down into sugar, cardamom, ashwagandha root, which ashwagandha is an adaptogenic herb, which means that if you're having high stress, it basically just balances out those hormones, vanilla bean, and black pepper. And so I just put a teaspoon of this with almond milk, and I warm the almond milk, but you could use cashew milk or whatever plant milk you want to use. And this, it just, I don't know, calms me down. I've heard other, like, even fitness entrepreneurs talk about how they use alcohol to change state at the end of a really busy, taxing day, right? This is such a healthier option than using alcohol because alcohol drops brain function. Meanwhile, you have some healthy foods in here like turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory, cardamom, which is helping the cardiovascular system, ashwagandha, which is balancing out those stress hormones, right? This is way healthier for the brain than drinking alcohol for a change of state. Okay. Even some foods that boost serotonin will help you change state. Okay. Tryptophan, those high tryptophan foods, that will help you change state. So you can unwind with some healthy foods. You don't have to do it with alcohol. Okay. So just mindset shift. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I would love for you, other than downloading the Healthy Digestion recipe book, you may also enjoy my summer beverages recipe book, also on rawfoodmealplanner.com, where we have some mocktails. So if you're already convinced that you need to get off of alcohol, that you don't need that for a change of state, you can use something like this, something healthier, something cleaner, but you want something like, I know I've talked to people who they're like, I want to cut back on alcohol, but for me, it adds fun to a social situation. I have a lot of mocktails on in this summer beverages recipe book. Okay. So try that, play around with that, and you may find a healthier alternative to help you on your health and wellness journey. And with that, I will touch base with you soon. Take care.